Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has brought us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Oh, I'll be ready, yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. Oh, I'll be ready, yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. They talk about Jerusalem moaning, yes, good Lord. They talk about Jerusalem moaning, yes, good Lord. Now, brother, I do believe without a doubt that a Christian has the right to shout. Religion turned me inside out. Put on your long white robe and your starry crown. Be ready when the great day comes. Oh, I'll be ready, yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. Oh, I'll be ready, yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. Now, didn't the good book say that Cain killed Abel? Yes, good Lord. Didn't the good book say that Cain killed Abel? Yes, good Lord. He hit him in the head with a table leg, and I believe in my soul it killed him dead. Put on your long white robe and your starry crown. Be ready when the great day comes. I'll be ready, yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. Oh, I'll be ready, yes, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. Thank you very much. What a pleasure to be here tonight. Dr. Raley and I have had a wonderful time as collaborators over the years, and it's always nice to come back to Millsaps and sing for you guys. And for the larger audience, I guess we're being live streamed tonight. So I usually rely on program notes, but since we don't have programs out there in the ether, we'll talk a little bit from the stage. What you just heard, the first song was obviously Lift Every Voice and Sing, which was from by James Rosamond and John Weldon Johnson. Also known as the Black National Anthem. It was written in 1900 as a celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And it started out as a poem, and then became a hymn, and then basically turned into an anthem. Originally, what we call art songs are poems that are set to music by the composer, and then they become a whole new work of art themselves. And what you just heard after that song was a jubilation, which was a slave song from way back in the day. So what we're going to hear tonight are a bunch of different songs and spirituals, art songs or high art songs, and spirituals, which are folk songs. And they come in many different forms. And one of the great things about African American culture is that we've had this high art, low art entanglement debate, and we have the high art of what we can aspire to, and the low art where it really is where it comes from. And in between, in the middle, we get this wonderful creativity that gives us all different sorts of combinations, from rap to jazz to funk to bebop to spirituals to gospel. All of those things come in this wonderful tension of trying to preserve the past and to look towards the future. And no other time in history illustrates this better than the Harlem Renaissance, which really is arguably around the 1915 to 1945, the beginning of the war. It was a wonderful time in New York City and around the country, and even in Europe, but most centrally in New York City, in Harlem, where blacks were creating wonderful works of art to express themselves and to aspire to and show off really what we had to offer as a people, in culture, in the ways that we thought, in the ways that we danced, in the ways that we sang, to just show off, basically, for a good 20 years. So tonight you'll hear all the different kinds of high art songs, songs that are poems set to music, as well as jubilations, spirituals, and songs from the blues, and theater songs. Not to talk too much, because I don't really like to talk a whole lot, but to get to some singing. This next song is actually a great example of that, because it's the words of Paul Laurence Dunbar, the great folk poet, and the music of James Rosamond Johnson. Dunbar tried to uplift the common folk by using the African American vernacular, or dialect, as I like to call it, in a way that was honest and real. And then you had Johnson, who was part of the Talented Tenth, trying to uplift with modern classical music. And so he put the two together in this wonderful song called Little Gal. After that, we'll hear Little Girl, which is a folk song that Roland Hayes, the great tenor,
sang and arranged, and Oh Let Me Shine, which he also arranged. He was an international black tenor who sang for kings and queens in Europe while singing arias and songs of the European tradition. He also sang American music and brought that to a wider audience. And then the last the last three songs in the group are by Harry Burleigh, who was a wonderful singer in his own right in New York City, but he arranged spirituals in a really wonderful way. He was a student at the American Conservatory and knew Antonin Dvorak, who was a great European composer. And he would sing the spiritual songs of the slave peoples to Dvorak. And Dvorak said, you must write these down. You must preserve this culture. And so that's exactly what Harry Burleigh did. He wrote wonderful arrangements to spiritual songs to keep them in their natural form, but to lift them up in a way that we listen to them differently. And these songs are preserved now, as well as his art songs and his popular songs. So I hope you'll enjoy this group of songs and spirituals by James Johnson and Harry Burleigh and Roland Hayes.
For ain't no
Little girl, yes ma'am. Did you go to the spring? Yes ma'am. Did you count my cows? Yes ma'am. Did you count my lambs? Yes ma'am. Did you take it to the house? Yes ma'am. Did you take it to the house? Yes ma'am. Little girl, yes ma'am. Little girl, yes ma'am. Did you feed my ducks? Yes ma'am. Did you give them some corn? Yes ma'am. Did you keep them eggs? Yes ma'am. Did you take them to the house? Yes ma'am. Did you take them to the house? Yes ma'am. Did you give them to the cook? Yes ma'am. Did you give them some bread? Yes ma'am. Did she give you any? Yes ma'am. Did your bread taste good? Yes ma'am. Yes ma'am. Yes ma'am. Of different dialects in these songs and these spirituals. Spirituals don't just exist as slave songs. They were also code songs, right? Songs that talked about getting over to Jordan, which was getting over the Ohio River, right? So they were ways to tell other slaves to go this way instead of that way to get to freedom. They were also ways to just have to get through the day. This song, Deep River, talks specifically about going over Jordan to freedom. And it was one of the greatest hits of Harry Burleigh. It appealed not only to black singers, but to white singers, the great Irish tenor John McCormick. This song was #1 on the hit parade, is how I would say it, or the top 40 hit of its time. So this is Deep River.
Over Jordan. that gospel feast, that promised land, where all is peace. Oh, deep river, Lord, I want to cross over into campground. Who are you, dusky woman, so ancient, hardly human, with your woolly white and turbaned head, and bare bony feet? Why, rising by the roadside here, do you the callers greet? Who are you, dusky woman? 'Tis while our armies line Carolina sands and pines, forth from thy hovel door, the Ethiopia comes to me. As under doughty Sherman I march toward the sea. Me, master, here's 100 since from my parents sundered. A little child, they caught me as the savage beast is caught. Then hither cross the sea, the cruel slave brought me. A little child, the cruel slave brought. No further does she say, but lingering all the day, her high-born turbaned head she wags, and rolls a darkling eye, and curtsies toward the regiments, their Gideons moving by. What is it, faithful woman, so blear, hardly human, red and green. Are the things so strange and marvelous you see? Or have seen? Or have seen?
Very peculiar song, right? It paints a big picture with a lot of cinematic kinds of sounds. Very programmatic, we would call it in music. Very programmatic piece. But it's very interesting when you consider that it was originally conceived by a gay soldier looking at a black Ethiopian slave, looking at the soldiers who were coming to free her, and looking back at that, and then set to music by an African American Episcopal at that note, and envisioning this whole scene, right? What is he trying to say? Very interesting song for me. And I hope for you that it brought some sort of question to your mind. Now, Burleigh not just wrote big epic pieces like that and beautiful spirituals, he also wrote some parlor songs, little bonbons that people would play for each other after long days at work or school. And this is Elysium.
Your lips again, press them to mine. One more full draught of the nectarous wine. The world melts away in the glow of your kiss, and leaves just you and me, this perfect hour of bliss. Your lips again, press them to mine. One more full draught of the nectarous wine. In the folds of your arms, lull me softly until there comes the wondrous calm of love so deep and still.
Thank you. So we're just going to have a little fun, I hope, this evening. I hope you've noticed the interconnectedness of things in the program. James Weldon Johnson, J. Rosamond Johnson, being the composer of Little Gal, as well as being his brother being the lyricist for Elysium, different things like that. One of the major places of connectivity was in the actual making of the music. And at the center of all this was W.C. Handy and the Handy Brothers Music Publishing Group. W.C. Handy is from Alabama, but made his way through the South, through Memphis as a band leader, and on its way up to New York City. You may know him as the father of the blues. Well, he was the father of the blues in that regard, but he wrote many different kinds of blues. And one of those forms he called a song form blues. And the song that we're going to tell tonight is called the Harlem Blues. And Harlem Blues is about a man down on his luck who's lost his lady. And in the song, W.C. Handy paints a very elaborate picture of Harlem, these few blocks in New York City that changed the world in the 20s. And you'll hear different places like the Battery and the Bronx. You'll hear about the Age and the News, which were the newspapers and magazines of the time. You'll hear about James Reese Europe, jazz band leader. You'll hear about Madam C.J. Walker, who, does anybody know who she was? She invented straightening hair products, right? And she was the first black millionairess. So there's also the Poro systems, which after you straighten the hair, you gotta lay it down, right? So that's what the Poro systems were for. So he names all these different wonderful things like Dicty folks, people who are uppity, who lived on Strivers Row, the rich person's street in Harlem. So listen for all of these different places and see if you can conjure up your own image of Harlem and through the Harlem Blues. Never can tell what's in a woman's mind. And if she's from Harlem, there's no use so trying. Just like the tide, her mind comes and goes like March weather. When she will change, nobody knows. Nobody knows. The woman I love, well, she done turned me down. She's a Harlem brown. Oft times I wish that I were in that ground, 6 feet underground. She idolized me like no other could, then surprised me, leaving a note that she was gone for good. I've searched each hole and corner, from the Battery to the Bronx, from the most exclusive to the honky-tonks. I sought her in the movie houses, cabarets and parks, advertised
think I'll mooch some homemade hooch and go out for a lark just to drive off these mean Harlem blues. Ah, there's one sweet spot in Harlem. It's known as Striver's Row. Folks on Colum live there, and you will know that I have a friend who lives there. I know he won't refuse to put some music to my troubles and call them Harlem blues. Now, you can have your Broadway. Give me Lennox Avenue. The angels from the sky stole 7 pounds, and for that some thanks are due to Madam C.J. Walker and her beauty shops, and poor old systems too made those girls angels without any doubt. There are some spots in Harlem where I'm told it's sudden death to let a body see you stop to catch your breath. Oh, but if you've never been to Harlem, so the saying goes, you have really been camping out. Mama, listen to those Harlem blows on the radio phone. Oh, those times recall 'em. Remember Happy Roan and the Clef Club dances led by Jim Europe's jazzy band. Sweet memories change your mind once more and come to your Harlem, Maine. About the music, Chicago style, the kind of music that drives you wild. Ain't you heard about the way we dance it out? Then let me tell you what it's all about. First you grab your gal like a Hurcat Jack, and stimulate your knack when you throw her back. Then you swing it low while you're moving, swing the steady thing while you're grooving. Then you take it down, let your hair sweep back. You take an acrobatic, then you throw her back. You take it slow and take a solo. That's the way we dance in Chicago. Jump back and boogie. Oh, boogie, boogie. Tack a little. Truck a little. Now, if anyone here is still in doubt as to what this jitterbuggin's all about, I'll expostulate all that I know about the way we dance in Chicago. Chicago, jump back and boogie. Oh, about. I'll expostulate all that I know about the way we dance in Chicago. Yeah, he can boogie woogie, can't he? Didn't It Rain by Margaret Barnes. Didn't it rain, chillin', didn't it rain? Oh my Lord, didn't it, oh my Lord, didn't it rain? Didn't it rain, chillin', didn't it rain? Oh my Lord, didn't it, oh my Lord, didn't it rain? It rained 40 days and 40 nights without stopping, nor was glad when the rain stopped dropping. When I get to heaven, gonna put on my shoes, gonna walk around heaven and tell the news. Just listen how it's raining all day, all night. Just listen how it's raining all day, all night. Didn't it rain, chillin', didn't it rain? Oh my Lord, didn't it, oh my Lord, didn't it rain? Didn't it rain, chillin', didn't it rain? Oh my Lord, didn't it, oh my Lord, didn't it rain? If you read in the good book, you'll understand Noah lived as a righteous man. The Lord told Noah, he gave him a plan, said, build me an ark at my command. Just listen how it's raining all day, all night. Just listen how it's raining all day, all night. Didn't it rain, chillin', didn't it rain? Oh my Lord, didn't it, oh my Lord, didn't it rain? Didn't it rain, chillin', didn't it rain? Oh my Lord, didn't it, oh my Lord, didn't it rain? The Lord told Noah, take them 2 by 2, the ox and the fox and the kangaroo. The wicked man, if he don't repent, leave him there until my judgment. Just listen how it's raining all day, all night. Just listen how it's raining all day, all night. Didn't it rain, chillin', didn't it rain? Oh my Lord, didn't it, oh my Lord, didn't it rain? Didn't it rain, chillin', didn't it rain? Oh my Lord, didn't it, oh my Lord, didn't it rain?
Harlem Renaissance was a wonderful time for many people. Women especially had found their voices being heard for the first time, like Margaret Bonds and Florence Price, who's next on the program. Also people, queer people who'd not been heard up before in their own original voice. And so it was a wonderful nexus of discovery and recovery and creativity. These next two songs are by Florence Price. The first is Song to the Dark Virgin, with a text by Langston Hughes. And the second is My Soul's Been Anchored in the Lord.
That I were a jewel, a shattered jewel, that all my shining brilliance might fall at thy feet, thou dark one. Would that I were a garment, a shimmering silken garment, that all my folds might wrap about thy body, absorb thy body, hold and hide thy body, thou dark one. time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I must pray. Every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I must pray. In the valley, on my knees, ask my Lord, have mercy, please. In the valley, on my knees, ask my Lord, have mercy, please. Oh, every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I must pray, I must pray, must pray, I must pray.
That's a spiritual arranged by William Grant Still, who is a Mississippi native from Woodville, Mississippi. A lot of people call him the dean of the African-American composers. And he was the first to conduct and to write a major symphony for a major orchestra. But one of his greatest accomplishments that he felt was that he was the first African-American to write an opera for a major American opera company. And that would be the New York City Opera. He wrote many operas and felt that he was an opera composer. And so he wrote a lot of vocal music. And this next piece is a very interesting piece because it's very few notes. One chord played over and over, and one or two notes that are sung on the same, almost like saying the rosary, this prayer. And it's a very interesting and beautiful piece called Grief.
Weeping angel with pinions trailing and head bowed low in your hands, mourning angel with heartstrings wailing for one who in death's hall stands. Mourning angel, silence your wailing and raise your head from your hands. Weeping angel, on your pinions trailing, the white dove promise stands. Weeping angel with pinions trailing and head bowed low in your hands. Mourning angel with heartstrings waiting for one who in death's hall stands. Mourning angel, silence your wailing and raise your head from your hands. Weeping angel, on your pinions trailing, the white dove promise stands. I see, coming for to carry me home, a band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Oh, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Oh, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home, tell all my friends I'm a-coming too, coming for to carry me home. Oh, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Oh, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
That was arranged by the great Hall Johnson. Hall Johnson was a wonderful composer in that he took the spiritual and elevated it to an even greater concert experience. He also was the leader of the Hall Johnson Singers, who, if you've ever watched any movies from the 1940s or 50s, and you hear that wonderful choral sound, that would be his group of singers singing spirituals and ring shouts and jubilations. He was also a very poignant composer. He wrote not only arranging spirituals, but he wrote beautiful music as well. And one of the pieces that he wrote is called David. It's a parlor song, much like the Elysium song that we first started out with, but in a little more informed as a popular song of the day, closer to what we know pop music as nowadays. And this is a lullaby called David.
When it's summer, and I'm lying on a beach, I know heaven's never really out of reach. Looking upward to that starlight night above, I know David's singing little songs of love. In a pasture wide as heaven, surely all will be forgiven. I can sleep, you can sleep, we can sleep. There's a comfort deeply ringing
So Duke Ellington came out of the Harlem Renaissance as well. But Ellington took the juke joints and the jazz that was happening, and he found a way to make what we know today as jazz. This high and low at the same time, this wonderful art form. And so he sort of took us to heaven with his music. And this is a piece from his, what concerts are they? The sacred concerts that he gave at St. John the Divine in New York City. This is called Heaven. Thank you for coming tonight. We've had a wonderful time. This is Heaven.
Heaven